With Ian Book leaving Notre Dame, Tyler Buchner will be competing for the starting quarterback job against Drew Pine, Brendan Clark, and Wisconsin transfer Jack Cohn. But who is Tyler Buchner? In the Who Is series, we go through the backstories of up-and-coming collegiate and pro athletes. If you enjoy this video, leave a like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Tyler Buchner attended high school in La Jolla, California, but according to Irish Illustrated, he grew up in the Chicago area. Buchner was a multi-sport athlete playing both rugby and lacrosse along with football growing up. Buchner actually had an offer to Michigan for lacrosse after his freshman year, but decommitted and decided to focus on football. Side note, between Buchner and Cohn, Notre Dame really likes their quarterback lacrosse combo players. In high school, Buchner attended a private school by the name of Bishop School, which had a 9-to-1 student-to-teacher ratio. After his freshman year of high school, Buchner visited Indiana where he impressed with the savvy footwork and a big release, while showing the potential he could be a future star. Buchner said, "I did the camp and Coach Tom Reese was telling me he really liked me and liked what he saw. He had me make a few more throws, and at the end of camp, I did well, and then they offered me right there on the field. It was definitely cool. Notre Dame has always been a school I've loved, and I grew up watching them. It's sweet to have the offer." Things looked up for Buchner, but he hit a roadblock during his sophomore year. After the first drive of the season, Buchner tore his ACL and missed the rest of the season. This was a sort of wake-up call for Buchner, who realized that football could end at any moment and that it was important to get a quality degree. Buchner still continued to earn offers while he was sidelined with an injury from Nebraska, Oregon, and Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania was actually his third Ivy League offer in high school. During his junior year, Buchner put on a show coming off his injury. In September, Buchner fell 1 yard short of the California state record for total yards in a game that was set by Jorge Amaya in 2014. Buchner threw for 465 yards and rushed for 295 yards in a 71-42 win over Mater Catholic in Chula Vista, California. Buchner finished the season throwing for 4,474 yards and 53 touchdowns, while also adding 1,610 yards on the ground and 28 rushing touchdowns. After his junior year, Buchner decided to transfer to Helix High School. Buchner led Bishop to the Division II title game, where he threw for 286 yards and rushed for 350 yards, while accounting for 8 touchdowns in a loss to El Camino. Helix finished the season going 11-2 and lost 38-20 to Sierra Canyon in the Division I AA California playoffs. Buchner won the San Diego section Offensive Player of the Year, but there were some questions on how good Buchner actually was due to not playing against top-level competition at Bishop. Buchner rarely needed to read more than 2 routes due to the talent he was playing against and wanted to show he could do more advanced reads. Other reasons for the transfer: the cost of Bishop School and risk of injury with the amount of players that were transferring. Other players that were transferring to Helix were 6'5", 285-pound Oregon offensive lineman commit Josh Simmons and wide receiver Clay Petrie, Buchner's teammate at Bishop. Buchner was ready for the 2020 football season until the events of 2020 occurred. As a result of COVID-19, California decided to move their football season to the spring instead of playing in the fall. As a result, Buchner had to make a decision on whether he was going to play his senior year and enroll in college in the summer, or forego his senior year and enroll early so he could compete for the starting quarterback job in spring ball. Buchner competed at the Elite 11 camp this past spring, and like other 4- and 5-star recruits, he had to make the tough decision. Sports Illustrated Director of Recruiting John Garcia said on the situation, "My recommendation would be to play this season. He can still get to Notre Dame in time for summer school and compete for the starting job." Buchner decided to forego his senior football season and enroll early at Notre Dame. Tyler Buchner was a 4-star recruit according to 24/7 Sports Composite. He was the 3rd best dual-threat quarterback, 4th best player in California, and 65th best recruit nationally. He had over 16 different offers from the likes of Alabama, Columbia, Georgia, Pennsylvania, UCLA, USC, and Yale, among others. It seemed like his recruitment came down to Notre Dame, Michigan, Stanford, and USC. All 4 of these schools are known for playing high-level football, but also having top-notch academics. The final 2 favorites were Notre Dame and Stanford, so with a potential recruitment battle occurring, Notre Dame invited Buchner to South Bend for the Stanford-Notre Dame game, which Notre Dame won 38-17. After the game, Buchner said, "The game atmosphere was my favorite part of the visit. It seemed like every student on campus was there. I loved how all the students stayed until the very end of the game and how the players all came out and sang the alma mater." Ian Book, the starting quarterback for the Fighting Irish, also happened to be a California product as well, which also helped in convincing Buchner to commit to Notre Dame. Tommy Rees kept his foot on the gas pedal with Buchner after the game, telling him he was their main priority in the 2021 recruiting class. Buchner liked Notre Dame and the education opportunity it brought for him. Then in February of 2019, Buchner attended Notre Dame's junior day where he spent time with Ian Book, Phil Jakovich, and Tommy Rees. Buchner had a great visit and later committed to Notre Dame. Irish Breakdown from Fan Nation broke down Buchner's film and said some positive things about the San Diego product. They described him as an advanced passer, but still had a lot of room to improve from a technical and physical aspect. Buchner does not have the biggest arm, but he has an incredibly quick release, which boosts his arm strength to give him an elite arm. Buchner has an advanced feel for the game, and Irish Breakdown said Notre Dame has not signed a prospect like that since Jimmy Clausen. Buchner has great anticipation when it comes to making passes. He can also play from the pocket, play as a gunslinger, and he can play on the run if he needs to. Buchner is the highest graded quarterback along with Phil Jakovich in the past decade for Notre Dame. While Jakovich had more film, a stronger arm, and better size, Buchner has a more concise throwing motion and is more comfortable in the pocket than Jakovich was. John Garcia wrote, Buchner had an eventful 2 years from his ACL injury to a dominant junior season, and then the incomplete many prospects were dealt in 2020. At his best, he can challenge a defense with a big arm, great athleticism, and plus decision making. He can elude the rush with a solid feel, get off his midline, and either reset quickly to pitch or deliver well when flushed. While his stroke and delivery can be inconsistent at times, the Friday night efficiency was there in 2019. Buchner has solid mental processing in mid-range concepts, along with the ability to pitch to the perimeter with anticipation and perform off-platform as needed. Since Buchner decided to enroll early at Notre Dame, he will have a chance to compete for the starting quarterback job, but it won't be easy. Drew Pine played the most in 2020 out of all the players in the quarterback room. He played in 4 games as a freshman and threw 3 passes. Pine was a 4-star recruit and the 8th best pro-style player in his class. Then there's Brandon Clark, who played in 1 game as a sophomore and threw 1 pass. Clark was a 3-star recruit who was the 21st best pro-style quarterback in the 2019 class. Then there's Ron Paulus III, who is the son of one of Notre Dame's all-time great quarterbacks. Paulus III was a 3-star recruit who was the 73rd best pro-style quarterback in his class. Last but not least, there's Wisconsin graduate transfer Jack Cohn, who I did a video on last week, so go check that out if you haven't already. Whoever wins the starting quarterback job will have big shoes to fill with the departure of Ian Book. If you enjoyed this video, check out my other videos in the Who Is series. Don't forget to leave a like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And as always, remember to embrace the grind.